We were supposed to have crypto clarity in the US last year. Instead, we got delays, uncertainty, and more of the same. Now, crypto clarity is back, and once again, we're being told this is the moment. So the question is it actually happening this time, or are we doing this again? This content is for informational and educational purposes only. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. Welcome back to the channel where we cut through the noise, no hype, just signal. Because right now, everything around crypto is moving forward. Institutions are buying, liquidity is expanding, even regulators are shifting tone. But the one thing the US still hasn't delivered? Clarity. And that's exactly what this bill is supposed to fix. Let's talk about the Clarity Act. This was the bill that was supposed to move forward last year, and it didn't. Not because it wasn't important, but because it was caught in the usual cycle: timing, politics, delays, and meanwhile, the rest of the world kept moving. Now here we are again. Same bill, new timeline. There's a reported 10-week runway toward August, and once again, we're hearing that it could be marked up in May. And look, that's encouraging. But at the same time, we've heard versions of this before, so there's a level of cautious optimism here. Because until it actually moves, it's still just potential. That said, if it does move, this is one of the most important pieces of legislation for crypto in the US. Now at the same time, we've been seeing a huge shift in tone from regulators. Comments coming out are sounding way different than the previous administration. More open to innovation, more focused on how crypto could actually strengthen the financial system, which is a noticeable change. Because for a long time, the approach was basically kill crypto. Now it sounds more like they're realizing they actually need a framework. And even with stablecoins, we're seeing movement toward clearer oversight, with institutions like the FDIC getting involved. Again, not necessarily bearish, but it does raise the question, why did it take this long? Because while all this was being figured out, institutions didn't wait. Bitcoin's rally right now is being driven by real spot demand. ETF inflows are picking up, supply is tightening, and long-term holders are accumulating. This isn't the kind of move you see in uncertainty. This is positioning, which makes it even more frustrating that regulatory clarity is still playing catch-up. And then you look at the broader market. The S&P 500 just hit record highs, adding nearly $8 trillion in about 20 trading days. That's massive. That's liquidity flowing into the system, and historically, when liquidity expands, crypto follows. So again, everything is lining up, except the one piece that the US still hasn't finalized. So here's where things stand. You've got institutions accumulating, macro conditions improving, regulators slowly shifting tone, and a bill that could finally provide clarity. It's all there. The setup is there. Which is why this moment actually matters. Because if the Clarity Act does get marked up in May and actually moves forward this time, that could be the signal that the US is finally ready to participate, not just regulate from the sidelines. And that's a big shift. So look, there's still reason to be cautious. We've seen delays, we've seen momentum stall, and we've seen expectations get ahead of reality. But at the same time, this is probably the strongest setup we've seen so far. So yeah, there's frustration, but there's also real potential that this finally gets done. Subscribe to Ledger Pulse if you want to get clearer breakdowns without the noise. And let me know, do you think the Clarity Act actually passes this time? Or are we heading for another delay? If you want to further understand what's happening in the crypto markets, check out these videos here. Until next time, we'll catch you in the next one.